The bird flu epidemic that we're having here in the United States has all the signs of a potential pandemic brewing. So what we need to do is we need to prepare for the worst case scenario.
And consumers are growing pessimistic on fears that inflation will pick up.
If you look at the history of this virus, it's not a new virus. It was first detected, in the 1950s in Scotland, and the first human outbreak was in 1997 in Hong Kong. And since then, we've had a couple of outbreaks here and there throughout different countries, but they've all basically been, flare-ups and flare-downs, and it's gone away. This is the first time we're seeing ongoing transmission where we don't see this actually ending anytime soon. So here in the United States, just last year in 2024, we've seen dairy cattle get infected. That was something we've never seen before. That was one introduction, one spillover. Now what we've seen over the past year is that there's now been multiple spillover events, which shows you it's going to be very hard for us to try to, contain this now. Anytime an animal species gets infected with H5N1 that's close to humans, like even domestic cats, barn cats, or pet cats, you're seeing that as a big red flag. You're seeing recently mice getting infected. And so this is bringing animals and humans closer together, which is, a big concern because now you're going to potentially see more spillover cases from those animals to humans. So we've actually seen the first case of a fatal case of avian influenza here in the United States recently in Louisiana, and a patient who had underlying medical health conditions. We've also seen cases where dairy farmers, didn't even know they had H5N1, so they were asymptomatic. So there's a very wide spectrum of presentation of this illness. As an individual who specializes in pandemic preparedness and response, I would say that the bird flu epidemic that we're having here in the United States has all the signs of a potential pandemic brewing. So what we need to do is we need to prepare for the worst case scenario. You want to make sure that you're cooking your food thoroughly. When I'm cooking the egg, I want to cook the egg, when it's fully cooked, so 165 degrees Fahrenheit. The biggest things also is making sure that if you see an infected or dead animal, you don't go near it. Calling your state environmental services to, report that there's a dead, animal for them to pick it up, but you don't go and pick it up yourself. And so some of the things that I would love to see happen at the federal level is that we have more at-home tests. So during the COVID pandemic, one of the things that we all enjoyed was being able to test in the comfort of our own home. In addition to that, I think vaccines are going to play a significant role here. And so what I'd love to see is have a vaccine that is going to block transmission, not just keep you out of the hospital. So we need to make sure we're, developing better vaccines for humans as well as vaccines for animals. And I know that we're having these active discussions, but we need to make sure we're accelerating these discussions.